that is the benefit of telling the truth. قول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أصدقكم رؤيا أصدقكم حديثا. The most truthful amongst you in what they see in their dreams are those who are most truthful in their speech. So very important to understand that. Also, telling the truth is a reason for a lot of people to become Muslim. يعني Islam in Asia did not spread by the sword, as they say. There was no fighting. There were no battles. Islam in those areas spread because the Muslim merchants and businessmen would go to those areas before Islam reached them and take stuff and buy from them. But they used to see how they behave, how they act. They will not lie. They will tell the truth. And that was those Indonesia and Malaysia and Philippines, all these areas where Muslims are abundant. Indonesia, the biggest country of number of Muslims in the world. The armies never reached there. It's by seeing the way that Muslim businessmen acted. They were telling the truth. They were truthful. They were honest. If there's a problem with the product, they will tell them. Okay? It's very important. So that led to a lot of people becoming Muslim. And a lot of people should become Muslim based on your action. The way you carry yourself, the way you act, the way you behave. You're a boss, you promise them something, you deliver. But if you are a Muslim and then you promise them, I'm going to pay you this, and then at the end of the week you pay them something else or less, they're going to hate you and hate your religion. That is the reality. But if you fulfill your promises, because a lot of people don't, especially when it comes to money, then you can show them, you give them a message even without talking. You give them a message without talking. So very important to understand that telling the truth can influence the hearts of a lot of people. Okay? And a lot of people have become and embraced Islam because of the truthfulness they have seen from Muslims, and that is, we need to pay attention to. One of the issues, how do we plant truthfulness in the hearts of our kids? How can we teach our kids to tell the truth, to have this character of Al-Sidq? One, qudwa al-hasana. One is by example. Nothing, I don't think anything will top that. You can make dua for them, you can teach them, but nothing more important than seeing the parents being truthful. Okay? How many of the kids, how many of the parents, when someone calls and they don't want to answer? And maybe now it doesn't happen often. When they used to have the ground phones, phone in the house, there's a number, not cell phones. So landline, whatever. So I don't even, that was in the past. But the whole thing is, remember where I come from? All right.
There's no answering machine at that time.
Okay. Anyway, so the kid, someone will call the father, and he will tell his kid, tell him I'm not here. A lot of people do that. So the kid goes on the phone and says, my father tells you he's not here. He's telling the truth. But that is the reality. If that is the example the kid sees, then he will think at some point, it's okay to lie. Okay? Or the father cannot go. There is a meeting, parents meeting in the school, and he sent his kid, tell the teacher that I could not make it because I'm out of town. But he's in town. So he makes the kid lie, and the kid will think it's okay. Okay? So it's very important that by example, that's how you teach your kids to tell the truth. And be aware and pay attention to these things. يقول الإمام النووي الأطفال تقبل شهادتهم ما لم يلقنوا. Kids their testimony will be accepted from kids. That's what Imam Nawawi saying. The testimony of kids will be accepted as long as they are not rehearsed. Yani as long as they're not told what to say. Yani the parent comes and he tells his kid, when they ask you, you say this, 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 this. This will not be accepted, and usually you will know, yani from 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years, you will know if he's being rehearsed what to say. But usually their testimony is accepted because they tell the truth. They don't know how to lie, but the parents are the ones usually teach them. And also one of the major things that teach lying these days is TV. And I keep warning the parents from TVs and the danger that brings to the kids. And some parents will have the kid 6 and 7 years old, and she or he has his own TV in his own room. And he has cable and light and this and that and all that. And they don't even know what he watches. All these shows are lies. All these things they watch are lies. And a lot of corruption in it. Yani SpongeBob falls in love with another SpongeBob. Yani I don't get it. You know? It's very important that we make sure our kids are not watching stuff. Okay? But we leave them and we think it's okay. MashaAllah, my kid is learning how to say jump in Spanish from Dora. Yani what benefit brings that you know how to jump in Spanish? He has to watch Dora to know. And usually jumping is accompanied with music and singing and all that. All that is something that you cannot. And then the kid will watch that until a certain age. And after that, it doesn't relate to him. Now he wants to watch the next level. And usually the next level, real people. Yani young kids, maybe 10 and 11 and 12, and the way they dress, the way they act, the way they're hugging, the way they're hanging, all that is against our principle. And then the kid is 17 and 18 years old. Now you complain that he doesn't pray. Now you complain he listens to music. What you want to do now? You've been engraving and pouring this in his head for the last 18 years. No, I wasn't. Yeah, you were. By allowing him to be in front of this disease 24/7 without control. Yes, you did. You're the one who bought it, and you're the one who brought it in the house, and you're the one who connected it to the services, and you're the one who allowed him to see it. فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ. You should only blame yourself then. So those kids, like a bag. Whatever you put in it, it will take. That's it. And when they're little, you can put whatever you want in it. Or allow whoever and whatever to put in it. So that is the time where you need to take advantage of this time. You hear about the ulama, most of them learned the hadith and the Quran when they were a young age. Their parents didn't say, oh, they're still kids, let them play. Let them this, let them that. تَيْنَاهُ الْعِلْمَ صَبِيًّا. Yahya alayhi salam, they said that when he's young, and he was sitting one day and the kids were playing. Kids, he was a kid. And the kids came to him and they said to him, why don't you play with us? Come play with us. He said, مَا لِهَذَا خُلِقْتُ. He said, I was not created for this. I don't think our kids can reach that level, but why not? Why not at least make them understand why they're here? We're so excited, alhamdulillah. We're so excited to teach them French and Spanish and languages and this and that, and we get excited when the kid is able to draw a hat and all these things. Where's the deen? The deen is on Sunday or Saturday. A couple of hours in the masjid, yalla, we throw them at the brother in the masjid or the sister in the masjid. If they teach them, they teach them. If they don't, not a big deal. At least they know how to draw a hat. Seriously, we lost sense of our priorities, especially with kids. So very important that we need to return to that principle, how to raise our kids, how to pay attention to them. Raising them is not something hard, but we need to make the effort. We need to put some effort. We need to ask Allah for some help, but we need to make the effort. But just letting them go, you brought them to this world, and you're committing oppression against them.